Reluctantly.
Her grandpa gave her the coolest nickname ever. Jimmy is my guest today.
Reluctantly.
This podcast reluctantly sponsored by ThompsonMortgages.com. It costs you nothing to make a phone call to see if you can get a better rate, a better term, and better service for your mortgage. Also, Concept.com. Concept Clothing and Culture. CONXEPPT.com. Look your best.
Reluctantly.
Hi.
It's great to see you.
It's great to see you.
Well, it's great to see you again because I follow you on Instagram, so I see you
Okay.
almost every second day.
Wow. So I
Because
post a lot is what you're saying.
yeah, well, you do, and you have to, and if
Yeah.
you don't, you're not gonna end up with as many followers as you have on
That's true.
Instagram and TikTok and all of the social media. I
Yeah.
do have to congratulate you on that. Some people are good at it, and other people are not. I'm one of the people
Thank
who
you.
is not, and you've obviously, kind of grabbed it by the balls and taken it where you wanna
Yeah.
take it, and it's worked out great for you, so
Thank you.
congratulations.
Thank you. It's been a journey for
It's
sure.
well, it has, and it hasn't been easy, has it?
It hasn't been easy, but it's been fun.
How do you end up with over 300,000 followers on whatever social media
Yeah.
it might be?
Geez. Well, I've been doing this for basically my whole life. Almost before social media was a thing, actually. And for the longest time, I was kind of like, I want to do this the old school way. I want to play in bars and I want to, I don't want to post and be like that. But then I moved to Vancouver. I'm from Edmonton, actually. And I moved to Vancouver 3 years ago. And I said, okay, I'm playing in bars every night. I'm gigging full time. This is hard. I need to post on social media and do this. So then I just was dedicated. I said, I'm going to post every single day. And within a month, I think I got my first viral video. So then I was like, this could be something cool.
I think one of the most important things is, well, God knows it's not the same for everybody because I see a lot of social media posts and I just think, what garbage is this? And
Yeah.
why do they have 1.5 million views? But
Yeah.
the other thing is that from your point of view, you post quality social media items
Mhm.
and you end up getting the attention that they deserve because of the quality of those, and it's because of your
Mhm.
talent. So,
Thank you. Thank you
um,
for that.
do you remember when we met?
It was probably a long time ago in Edmonton.
We met at the Glass House at the Enjoy Center.
That's right. Gigging, see? I was
Yes.
even gigging full time in Edmonton when I was there. I do
Uh,
remember that.
my wife and I were sitting at the Glass House having dinner, and you were there with your acoustic guitar playing, and
Yeah, wow, that was a while ago.
there was a hockey game on the TV above your head,
Of course there was.
and I was
S
pissed off.
Really?
Yes. Now, I know that Edmonton is a hockey city,
Yeah.
Canada is a hockey country, Alberta is a hockey province, and all of that stuff, but
Mhm.
sometimes I think when there's an incredible artist or
Mhm.
there's a band or there's, something happening in a club that has live music that is
Mhm.
known as a venue for that, they should turn
Yeah.
off the TVs so people can pay
You're
attention to
right.
the talent that's in front of them.
You're right. But it's 'cause you're a music lover. Hockey lover, music lover, we can be both. And
Yes.
when there's a hockey game and a really good artist, the customers are happy. That's
Yes.
why that's why.
So my other question is, did anybody else other than me put $20 in your jar that night?
Oh, man. I cannot remember that. Probably not. Let's be real, probably not. I don't know. Did I even have a tip jar out there?
Yeah, you did.
Wow. Good. Yeah.
So I'm guessing at that time you were living in St. Albert?
Yep. I'm
Okay.
from St. Albert. That had to be, like, 5 years ago, maybe?
Mm, you know what? I think it was just before, and when I say just before, it could have been a year before or it could have been 6 months or 6 weeks or whatever, before you moved to Vancouver because
Yeah, okay.
I started following you on Instagram that night.
Mhm.
And, then all of a sudden I was looking at stuff and I went, "What the hell? She
Yeah.
moved to Vancouver." And I thought, "Oh, well, good for her."
Yeah, so around that time, I probably maybe had 1,000 followers, maybe 2,000, and I was really doing, yeah, the local thing, not doing too much posting. I don't even think TikTok was a thing yet, or it was just just becoming. So, yeah, that was right before I moved to Vancouver.
We're chatting today because you are embarking on a tour,
Yeah,
and this conversation will be released January 20th. So
amazing.
that
Okay.
is plenty of opportunity to promote your some of your gigs that are happening in BC. You're going through
Yeah,
BC into Alberta and then back into BC, correct?
yeah, exactly. Over to the island to top it off.
Right.
But it's my first tour
You're s-
ever. I'm going to start in Vancouver. The Vancouver show's sold out. White Rock is also almost sold out, and then we're going through the interior BC, like now.
Lakeland.
Yeah. Revelstoke, Nelson, those areas, and then Calgary, Edmonton, Lethbridge.
Have you been to all those places before?
Most of them. Some of them, no. I've never been to Nelson.
Nelson
Yeah.
is kind of like my old stomping grounds. I grew up in Creston, BC. Yeah.
Okay.
I grew up basically 90 minutes away from Nelson, and I had relatives that lived in Salmo and Weimar, which are two very small towns
Okay.
in the West Kootenays. Nelson
Wow.
is one of the coolest places on the planet, and it's a very artsy fartsy town.
Okay.
I don't know if you're aware of the Steve Martin movie called Roxanne with Daryl Hannah that
I've
was filmed there.
not seen it. Okay.
Well, it came out long before you were born, I'm sure.
Probably.
Yeah, but Nelson is a super cool town, very artsy fartsy, very hippy
Okay.
dippy. I still have
So,
relatives that live there, and yeah,
did you tell them about the show?
I will. Yes, I'm going to tell my
Good.
auntie Verna and my cousin Charlotte that they need to
Okay.
go and
You
see you.
tell Auntie Vernon I want her to come.
My auntie Verna is pretty happening chick. She probably
She
quite.
knows how to party?
Oh yeah, she would know.
Okay. She
She
would
was.
like a Jimmy show then.
She's in her 80s, but she would still get off
Okay.
on a Jimmy show. So yeah, then
Oh
you're
my God.
Vernon, Penticton, Revelstoke, which is also super fun. It's like you're going at a perfect time.
Yeah.
Super heavy into the winter lifestyle, heli
Yeah.
skiing, backcountry stuff. Lots
Mm-hmm.
of people with dreadlocks and bushy beards and stuff, and they're
Oh
going to get off.
yeah.
I know they're going to get off on your music.
Good.
Then you're into after Nelson, you're into Calgary, Edmonton. You'll be playing Edmonton at the Starlight Room on
Yeah.
January 31st. I'm very
Yeah.
excited for that.
I cannot wait. I'm very excited about the hometown show.
Tell me how so obviously you played around town a
Yeah.
lot, but then you go away and then stuff starts to happen for you. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you've got a recent album, you've got songs that are being played, you've opened for the Black Crows,
Yeah.
I mean, tell me all of this stuff that's happened to you since you've moved to Vancouver. How does that
Mm-hmm.
make you feel coming back to Edmonton to play the Starlight
Oh,
Room?
that's a good question. It's like one of those surreal moments where, I used to go to shows at the Starlight Room, and it's one of those venues that have been on my bucket list to go and play. And I did actually play there. I opened for Cameron Whitcomb when he came to Edmonton, and that was insane. It was sold out. They're screaming like I came on, and it was just insane. So I was like, oh my God, to be coming back here as a changed grown woman, and going to these shows in Edmonton as this girl with these big dreams, and then actually moving to Vancouver, and things happen and things change, and coming back home, it's like, yeah, a feeling that is very special. So that's why I'm most excited about the Edmonton show, I'd say, on tour, but it's because it's a hometown show. So,
Was moving to Vancouver your first going away
oh
from
yeah,
yeah.
it was the first time I moved out. So it was like living in my parents' house, small town St. Albert, beautiful city. And then I moved to Vancouver, downtown, big city. And it was like almost like a culture shock. And it was within like I said, the first month, and I got my first viral video. Brian Adams saw it, and he slid in my DMs. And I was like, this can't be real. This is one of my biggest icons ever. Like, oh my God, his MTV Unplugged album is like the only thing I'd listened to in high school. Like, he's a big inspiration for me. So him reaching out, and he invited me to his studio in Gastown, and I got to go and hang out with him for a bit. And it was just crazy. And I got that feeling where I was like, wow, I am in the right place. Like, this is meant for me to be in this city. And then from then on, it just kind of kept going and going and going. And I just am riding the wave. And so coming back to Edmonton is like special for sure.
The music community in Edmonton is special as well. Very
Yeah.
supportive. There is
Yeah.
competitiveness, but it's also very supportive if you find yourself in the right
Yeah.
group of people. Do you
Totally.
find that in Vancouver as well, or is the size of Vancouver change the dynamic of the music community as far as intimacy and support?
I'd say it is really intimate, and it took me about a year and a half to really integrate into the music scene here. And now that I'm more involved, just meeting musicians out doing gigs and then, making my band and this whole thing, it's like it is very close knit and small once you get involved in it. And there's multiple studios, but yeah, the industry, it's like everybody really does know each other and they want to support each other and see each other succeed. So it is awesome being a part of both industries, Edmonton and Vancouver.
And that's the thing. It's just because you moved away from the Edmonton
Mhm.
area doesn't mean that you're not part of that community anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's like I'm still calling up all my old friends and mentors saying, you got to come to my show. Like I'm playing Starlight. And they're like, no way. That's insane. I'll be there. So it is just feels amazing getting so much support from so many different groups, really, and so many different people. It's awesome.
Which high school did you go to in St. Albert?
Do you want to take a guess?
Was it Belrose?
No,
Oh, it was Paul Kane?
it was Paul Kane.
Okay.
Yeah,
My son went to Belrose. What year did you graduate?
2016.
Oh, okay, the year after my son. I'm
Yeah.
just trying to see if there's any parallels or any connections or any
Hmm.
crossing of paths or anything like that with my son.
I'm not sure. Is he a musician?
He's a drummer. He just came back from a tour of India. He drums for AP Dillon, who's a
Right.
Punjabi pop, hip hop rap
Cool.
superstar over there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's played Coachella and Lollapalooza and Dubai and all over North America and toured India 5 times, and yeah, it's
Wow. I think I do know your son.
yeah.
Did he
Uh,
go to McEwen?
he went to McEwen.
Yeah, I do
Yeah.
know him.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. He's
JR
awesome.
JRC.drums on Instagram.
Yeah, there we go. Shout out. Sick.
Um,
Is he coming to the show? Is he in town?
he's back in town. He just came back on New Year's
Good.
Eve, so he's back in town. Yeah,
Awesome.
we'll try and
Yeah, bring him out.
When you were talking about integrating yourself into the music community in Vancouver
Hmm.
and how it took you about a year and a half, tell me about the importance of supporting other people's work and not just, being in your own cocoon and putting out stuff on social media.
Oh, yeah. Well, that can get lonely, just like doing it all yourself, especially moving to a city where you don't know anybody, you don't have any friends, you don't have a community. It was interesting because it was like I got so much, traction online and these videos were popping off but it's almost like those are just those aren't real people. That's not real connections. It is real people, but you can just be sitting in your house and it's just, it's all online. So actually being able to go out and meet other artists and get inspired by them and jam with them, that's what I love. So it was challenging to find the right people and that whole thing, but like once I did and my group and my band, it's like, oh my God, I couldn't imagine being here without them.
Reluctantly.
This podcast reluctantly sponsored by ThompsonMortgages.com. Did you know that 60% of Canadian mortgages come up for renewal in 2025 and 2026? Is yours one of them? This is a great reason why you should reach out to ThompsonMortgages.com. Don't just DocuSign that email that comes from your current lender. Reach out to ThompsonMortgages.com. Ask Mike or any one of the team members if you should be on a fixed rate, a variable rate. What kind of terms should you be looking at? These are great questions for anyone at ThompsonMortgages.com. And if you do reach out, please let them know that you heard about this on the Reluctantly podcast.
Reluctantly.
This podcast is reluctantly sponsored by Wendy Campbell, realtor at blackmorerealestate.ca, serving the greater Edmonton area, proudly Canadian and locally owned. Contact Wendy at blackmorerealestate.ca. That's WENDE at blackmorerealestate.ca. Why does she not have a Y in her name? I don't know why. It's none of my business, probably none of yours too. Wendy has over 20 years of home sales experience. She has extensive knowledge of the new and previously owned home market. She can help you out with a free market evaluation of your home. And if you're looking to buy your forever home, she's got all the resources to help you with that as well. Not to mention, she's a builder partner with Rowett Homes. Wendy at blackmorerealestate.ca. WENDE at blackmorerealestate.ca.
Reluctantly.
Tell me about your band. How'd you find them? Did you find them all in the same spot? Were they a previous group, or were they all together, or were they just a ragtag bunch that you...
Well, they're all gigging musicians, so they do it full time as well. And I'd say a friend of mine, Shaquille, this is where the Edmonton community comes and joins with Vancouver, because he lived in Edmonton as well, same time as me, and we went to MacEwan University. He graduated a little bit before me, but we were in the community there together, so we were friends. And when I moved here, he reached out and he was like, "Hey, let's grab a coffee and just chat. I want to see what's like happening, and tell me about all these videos popping off and what it's like at Brian's studio and like all that kind of stuff." So I met up with him and he was like, "Let's put a little band together. Like, you need a band. Like, I want to help you." So then that's where I met my bass player, Victor Balcani. He's incredible. He's now my musical director of the band too. So I met Victor and he was like, "Oh, Jimmy, like, I'm so into this project. We got to add a guitar player. Like, you got to check out Marcus Ramsey." So it was just kind of like the ball was rolling and everybody was like, this music is really cool. I want to be a part of it. And so then we just would get together and jam, and I'd show them my songs and they'd learn them. And yeah, long story short, we did our first show together as a band. We got a new drummer. His name is Jay. So like some things changed along the way. That's just how it works. But all four of us, we played our first show August 2nd in Niagara Falls, and that's when we opened for the Black Crowes. So it was like the first show and we're opening for the Black Crowes. I was like, this is wild, but they're just such amazing musicians that it was almost flawless. Like, we're like this. And that's another one of those moments where I was like, wow, I really am in the right place, and everything, it feels so aligned.
Were you able to meet Chris and the guys, or anybody from the Crows?
I didn't meet him, but I did meet a couple of the band members, and that was awesome. They were so cool. And just being on the stage before them with all their gear set up, like they had so many amps and it was insane. And just seeing, they probably had like 25 guitars just lined up, like ready for the show. So just being up there with that energy, and also the way that it looked on stage where I was playing in front of these big giant Marshall amps, I was like, everyone probably thinks I'm playing out of that, but I am not. But it sure looks good. So
I saw a video of your show when you opened
yeah,
and I saw the Jimi on the
yeah,
big screen behind you, and I
yeah.
was just so happy for you. I
Oh,
thought that
thank
was
you.
incredible.
Thank you. Yeah, I like that logo.
With Chris Robinson, he's one of those guys that falls into a very shallow category of highly influential performers, not
Mm-hmm.
just singers, but he's a performer. When you watch somebody like that, what do
Yeah.
you take away? Do you think I got to incorporate something like that? Do you think there's a translation, regardless of the fact that he's a man, or is there something that you can take away from any performer in that manner?
Oh, yeah. I love live music and watching other people. I almost I call it studying. Like, it's hard for me to go to a concert and be nonchalant and just like jamming and talking to other. It's like I sit there and I'm watching it. People are like, "Are you okay?" And I'm just like, I'm studying them. Like I'm just taking it all in. I'm watching. I'm getting inspired. I'm seeing what they do that I like, what they do that I'm like, "Huh, why'd they do that?" You know what? So things like that. I'm just always I love live music and live shows. It's incredible.
Have you been a performer since the beginning? Have you taken
Yeah.
a command of the stage, or were you kinda like Jim Morrison where you'd stand and sing to the back, behind the
Um,
amps? Were you shy? Were you always, "Hey, I'm out here, jazz hands," and stuff
I
like that?
think more like that. I grew up in a family that was very, creative. Like, my dad plays, and he taught me how to play. So, we grew up jamming. My sisters love to sing, they love to dance. So, it's like there's home videos of us just, like, dancing and singing in the living room, and everybody wants to put on a performance. So, that's how I grew up, and it was very celebrated and encouraged. So, yeah, the first time I performed, I think, was the 5th grade in the talent show, and I sang Summer '69, and yeah, I just remember being really nervous before I went up in front of everybody, but once I got up there, it was like a feeling that I'd never experienced, and I got addicted to it, and I was just like, "Yeah, I think I'm gonna do this forever."
Who gave you your first guitar?
Mm, my dad. Oh, yeah.
Was it brand new or was it a hand-me-down?
Um, I definitely had a Fender Squier hand-me-down from my cousin. And so but I loved it. It was black and white, and I just would have concerts in my, you know, bedroom and stuff like that. But my dad has a SG, and, it's from 1982, and he has, like, all these, a PV amp in the basement. So anytime I go home, like, back to Edmonton, I spend hours in the basement just playing his gear.
So, anytime you wanna go home and play a guitar that's heavier than you are, you play
Yeah.
the SG.
Yeah. And he's like, "Maybe I'll bring that, and you could play a song at your show at the Starlight Room. Maybe I'll bring it." I'm like,
And launch into Thunderstruck or
Yeah,
something.
exactly. I don't know, he just wants to see it in use.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said that, this is gonna be your first tour, right? Is that what you said
Oh,
earlier?
yeah.
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 So what are you anticipating? Do you have a bus or is it a SUV or what are you going in
We
a
have
U-Haul?
a Mercedes Sprinter van.
Oh,
So
nice.
it's nice, and it's got TV and nice chairs, and we'll probably play some video games in there. My manager's gonna drive it. So it's nice. But yeah, I'm anticipating, I gotta have good sleeps. I can't drink too much tequila, have lots of coffee, and, I'm gonna be the only girl. So that'll be probably might get old fast. Yeah.
Electrolytes, alright?
Electrolytes.
Take
Yeah,
y
hydrate, hydrate.
Yes, have electrolytes. That's gonna help you no matter what, and it
Yeah,
doesn't matter, I know tequila is fun. You're a tequila girl then?
I am a tequila girl, yeah.
Yeah.
I might save it for the Edmonton show, I'm not sure. I will behave because, you can't have it every night.
Yeah. Well,
Not on your first tour, at least.
no, that's right.
Yeah.
Um, the touring lifestyle, which you are about to embark on,
Mhm,
starting in Vancouver and then off into the Okanagan and the Kootenays and then here into Alberta, and,
mhm.
you brought it up, so I'll continue the conversation. You're gonna be the only girl. Being in a van with 5 guys,
Yeah.
it's not fun, and, for me, it wasn't, musical, it was sports stuff. But,
Yeah.
traveling from town to town, being carpooling or whatever with someone's parent and, either hockey
Oh
or
my god.
basketball, but,
Mhm.
5 guys stink.
Yeah, I've already figured that out, for sure. But it is a good thing they are, like, my best friends, and we have traveled together before, and you're just connected differently to people that you play music with. It's like speaking your own language with each other. So, it's gonna be amazing. It will be, but definitely next tour, Maybe I'll bring a friend, or like a makeup artist or somebody like that. Because, we did do a little tour opening for the Skydiggers. And I was doing my makeup in gas station bathrooms before the shows or in the green room, those kind of things, because guys don't really think about that stuff. Like, where are you going to do your hair? And they go, what do you mean? And I'm just like, oh no.
Chris Christopherson's song, I woke up and I put on my cleanest dirty shirt.
Yeah, exactly.
That's guys who go on stage.
Yeah,
But
100%. That's rock and roll right
yeah.
there.
But you know what? We talked about it earlier. You know how you can glean from performers, and there's a certain few that will have influence in what you do on stage.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think that it's very important for a band to understand that they also are performers, and they don't have to wear a suit and tie or anything like that. Look like the Beatles in 1963 or the Dave Clark
Yeah.
5. But there is a certain, if you're going to have an image, you have to work at that image and make sure whatever the image is, that it is slick. Now, it can be ragamuffin, it can
Yeah.
be sloppy or whatever it is, but it needs to be slick. It can't be a cacophony of just, I don't give a shit. People have to pay attention to what their image is, what their style is going to be, and it's all part of the performance. And you know what? Not everybody's going to be able to pull off the bassist from AC/DC where he stands at the
Oh
back
my
and goes like
God.
this. And when it's his time to sing backup, he walks up to the microphone and goes, and then he goes
Yeah.
back and stands in front of the amps. There's performance from everyone.
Yeah.
And it's great that you have seasoned musicians that are out with you that you'll all be able to learn from each other, and you being on your first tour, it's going to be a great experience.
Yeah.
I'm super excited for you.
Thank you. I am so excited. And I can't wait to see you at the show.
Yeah, it'll be great.
It's going to be good.
Reluctantly.
This podcast, reluctantly sponsored by Concept Clothing and Culture. CONXEPPT.com. Handcrafted suits, custom tuxedos, and tailored essentials. Suits starting at $1,188. Made to measure right here in downtown Edmonton. Concept, CONXEPPT.com. If you reach out to Dave or anyone at Concept.com, please let them know that you heard about them on the Reluctantly podcast. Jimi. Does anybody call you Julia anymore, or is it just Jimi?
Yeah, they do sometimes when they're really serious. Julia, we have to talk. Oh, shit. Yeah,
How old were you when your grandpa gave you that name?
I think 3 or 4. Yeah. I was just a little tomboy, and I have 2 older sisters. So they were always, wanting to go shopping and wanting to do all this girly girl stuff with my grandma. And so I was always with my grandpa being like in the shop, doing all this, stuff. I just wanted to be with him. And so he just said, Julia, Jim, like a J name. I think the story was that we were bowling and we were putting in our names. And I looked at him and I said, call me Jim. I'm on the boys' team. And so then I think that's what happened. I don't know. They could tell it better than I could. But then from then on, everybody just called me Jim and Jimmy. And then, yeah, I wanted it to be my stage name because, Julia Nicholson, it's cool. But Jimmy, that's cool.
Well, it's the coolest name in rock and roll.
It's the coolest name in rock and roll.
Jimi.
My favorite part is when people don't know, me, or if they see Jimmy on the bill or something, and then they show up and they go, "Oh, you don't look like a Jimmy. That is not what I thought. I thought you were some dude." No, no, I'm Jimmy. So it's funny.
When we first saw you, my wife and I, and at the Glass House restaurant in St. Albert at the Enjoy Center, Your style, I'm still fascinated by it. I don't know how it works, and I wish. I mean, I have guitars.
Mm-hmm.
When people ask me if I play guitars, I tell them I have guitars. I don't play
That's
nearly enough to be.
funny.
I'm not nearly as good enough to be in my son's band, that's for sure.
Oh
But
my gosh.
I have guitars, but I've always been fascinated by the repeater thing. What is the style that
Oh, the loop pedal?
loops,
The
looping?
loop
Yes.
pedal. Yeah. So I got the loop pedal when I moved or right before I moved to Vancouver because I knew I was going to be gigging so much that I wanted something to play with because I'm doing like 3 or 4 hours a night for like 5 days in a row. So I wanted something to loop so I could bring my electric and play solos and just basically jam with myself. So that's where that came from. And then um, I thought it sounded pretty cool. So then I started making those series on TikTok of like loop with me. And just, I didn't even really know what I was doing. And I was just kind of showing everybody what the loop pedal was and what I was doing with it. And that's the first video that went viral. And then funny story about that is when Brian Adams messaged me, he said, "Can you show me how to do that loop pedal thing?" And in my head, I go, "I don't even know what I'm doing, but yeah, sure." So then I went and he had bought the same loop pedal as me. And, we were in the little vocal booth together and he was like, "Okay, show me how to do this." So I'm showing him, I'm playing his guitar that he got from Johnny Cash. Like there was just all because of the loop pedal, you know? So
It's super. Well, that's what Ed Sheeran does, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, Ed Sheeran does that. He's
So
much better at it than I am.
for people who might not be familiar, it's you play a little something, and then it records into electronically into a box of some sort. You
Mm-hmm.
hit a pedal, and it keeps it, and then you're able to add a little percussion or a bass line or
Yeah,
something like that, and then
exactly.
that plays over. What does it play for a bar or for a
However long your first loop is,
yeah?
you could do it the whole song if you wanted. Then it'll just keep replaying.
And then after you've laid down like a rhythm with
Mhm.
guitar and then maybe some percussion, maybe a bass line, then you can
Mhm.
start throwing in your solos. And if you've got that constant rhythm that's going on through the song, and I always thought, oh well, what happens when there's a part of the song where you're singing and then all of a sudden it breaks up and then the end of the chorus and then there's a stop and then it goes into the next verse. And I thought, how does that work? I don't understand. I'm like, it just
Yeah.
blows my mind. But I guess you just step on the pedal and stop all that shit again, don't you?
Yep. That's exactly what happens. Yes. You just double tap it and it stops. And then you tap it again and it all plays. And if you hold it down, then it takes all the loops away except the first one. So it's like basically you're producing on the fly and it will never sound the same.
How is your technology? Have you gotten into Pro Tools and any
Oh
stuff like
yeah.
that?
Yeah. So I am I produce a lot of my stuff too. I have a lot of demos. I've been producing for a while now. I took um production in university there and figured out how to do that whole thing. So I haven't produced anybody else, but I just kind of mess around on Logic Pro and some of my demos I'm like, "Oh, that kind of sounds like a song." So,
When you're doing your videos in your apartment, and I was a kid. I lived in Vancouver when I was a kid. It was many, many years ago.
okay, cool.
I also a year ago at the beginning of December, so it's been like 14 months now. I moved my daughter out there. She was in Victoria, now she's living. And anyway, she's down in Chinatown. She works at the Kiefer Bar in Chinatown.
Oh, okay.
She's bartending there.
Nice.
Kate, so go and see her sometime.
Okay, I will.
But when you do your videos, every once in a while, I can see through the window, kind of like you're blocking the view now, and I look
Yeah.
out and I'm trying to figure out what part of town you're in, and I'm trying to see if I can see a landmark or something that I might remember. What part of Vancouver are you in? You said you were
It's the
downtown.
West End.
Oh, you're in the West End? Okay.
West End, yeah. I
Yeah.
really lucked out because I'm still in the first apartment that I chose. And now that I know Vancouver and all the areas, just I love the West End so much. It's I would wanna live here if I moved here now.
So when you have obviously everybody starts doing cover stuff, it's
Mhm.
everything from Stevie Ray Vaughan, Fleetwood Mac, Stevie Nicks, probably. That's been influences for you.
Yep.
How has the journey been, kind of making it so that it's 80-20, then 70-30, then 60-40 of your own material and your set as you're going?
Well, when I started out, yeah, it was I had a list of 85 cover songs, and I would play them all night, cover songs, and then I started incorporating my originals, and I would kinda see how people took them and judge how, the crowd interacted with them, and I started getting some positive feedback, and I was like, "I should play more of my originals," and then it started becoming a fun thing where I would play a whole set that was, like, my own songs, and people would be like, "That was incredible," and I'd say, Those are my songs," and they go, "Really?" Like, that kinda thing, so once I got my band, yeah, wasn't never a cover band situation, so it was always like we were maybe doing, like, 1 or 2 covers in there, and I call them bar bangers, like, ones that everybody's gonna know and love. So, I still just because I think that's a fun part of the show, I still incorporate at least 1 where everybody's gonna know it and get all hyped up. So, that's kinda where I'm at now, it's like a full I play all my originals now.
Awesome. That isn't that the
Yeah.
best thing? That's
It
like,
is, that's like you've made it.
yeah.
If you can have a whole show of your own tunes, yeah, I don't know how much better it can get from that.
So you said you had a manager.
Yep.
Do you have a deal yet? Any like publishing, recording, anything that is happening? Have you gone through offers? Have you had to deal with entertainment lawyers or like? Do you know Kurt Dahl?
I do know Kurt that is my lawyer.
Is he okay?
Yeah, Kurt, he's the best guy ever.
I did a podcast with Kurt for a
Amazing.
couple weeks ago. Yeah, so he is
Oh,
awesome.
yeah, he is the best ever.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I got Kurt, I have, Pecan, the booking agency, I've signed with them. I have a publisher, Pierre Tremblay, manager, John Caton, Todd Dunsmere. So the team is building and slowly but surely. And I love everybody that's a part of it. And I am so grateful to have these guys on the team because it is special and it's like a close knit family.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's incredible.
The conversation I had with Kurt was so terrific because him being a musician and being a lawyer for musicians, it is just so great to see someone's helping instead of, like he said, there's always suits ripping off musicians. And how
Mhm.
many times have we heard whether it's publishing or whether it's advances or,
Yeah.
somebody doesn't own their masters or something like
Oh
that.
yeah.
You have to own all of your stuff so that you
Yeah.
have your mechanical royalties, your writing royalties, all of that stuff. It's so important.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah, and I, been through the ringer with some stuff and learned a lot, and, my manager now, John, we call him a cowboy. He's an old cowboy, and he used to be, Blue Rodeo's manager, so he's been doing this he's got quite the story, but he's been doing this for a long time, so I'm just so lucky to have his support and, his like, I really trust him, and yeah, the music industry is crazy, though. It is crazy, but
This podcast will air on the 20th of January, so let's take a
okay.
look at the shows. Starting there, you're in White Rock at the Blue
Yeah,
Frog Studios
yeah.
on the 23rd. I'm just gonna rattle through them all.
Sure.
Then Lake Country, that's a
Y
quick trip from White Rock to, the
yeah,
Okanagan.
that one is also sold out.
Oh, is it good?
Yeah,
That's great. Vernon District Performing Arts Center on the 25th.
yeah.
Then, the Hub on Martin in Penticton. I have a cousin and his wife who live there that, don't be surprised if they show up.
Awesome.
Revelstoke then on the 27th. Then you're into Nelson, BC on the 28th.
Mm-hmm.
January 30th in Calgary at the King Eddie, which is legendary.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm
that's another
excited
one
for
of the
that
places.
one.
You were talking earlier about being able to play the Starlight Room, and now the King Eddie is one of those places too.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
I've heard.
if the walls could talk, or I mean,
Oh my God.
I don't know if they have a wall where everybody signed it who's been there. I
Okay, probably.
kind of think they do, but it might be one of those things where you just stand there and read the wall for 45 minutes.
Oh
Who knows?
wow. Okay.
Uh,
Sick.
then January 31st, your hometown show in the Starlight Room in Edmonton.
Yeah. Let's go.
Goosebumps.
Goosebumps right
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Down to Lethbridge, my old stomping grounds. I worked there for a bit. Cumberland, BC, Victoria. I was born in Victoria.
Wow.
Nanaimo. You're hitting all of my feel good spots.
You should just come with us.
I'm
Since
not
you like
very
the band so much.
Yes,
And
I'm
the
not very
road.
good. I can't be your makeup artist. I'm not very good at it.
Okay, fine.
Congratulations on your
Thank you.
success.
Thank
And
you so much.
I'm so excited for you. Can't wait to see you here in Edmonton on the 31st.
Thank you. It's gonna be awesome. Get your tickets, you guys.
Get your tickets, yes, at
Yeah.
can you get them at jimmysound.ca?
Yeah, jimmysound.ca.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. Sweet.
Reluctantly.
This podcast reluctantly sponsored by ThompsonMortgages.com. It costs you nothing to make a phone call to see if you can get a better rate, a better term, and better service for your mortgage. Also, Concept.com. Concept Clothing and Culture. CONXEPPT.com. Look your best.
Reluctantly.